Hey guys, my name's Justin, and welcome to Hellsborough, where we care about the design behind designer luxury. So for today's video, I wanted to introduce something called a Battle Royale. At Hellsborough, this means pairing up different styles of luxury goods depending on the theme, and pitting them against each other round by round until one is left standing. Today's theme is bucket bags. Okay, it's a bucket hat, but you know, whatever. Oh wait, you probably saw it in the title. Okay, anyways, bucket bags are slated to be next, or I guess this year's. Oh my god, it's already 2022. Okay, so since bucket bags are slated to be 2022's hot bag shape, I thought I would take a look at some of the biggest brands, most classic shapes, or even seasonal forms of some of these bags, pit them against each other, and see which one comes out on top. There's going to be 4 different matches we're going to start with. So the first matchup is actually going to be 2 different Louis Vuitton bags. So that's going to be the Noé and then the NeoNoé. For round 2, we have Celine Sangle Bag and something from Gucci called the Horsebit 1955 bucket bag. I'm not too sure if it's seasonal, but we'll get there. For the third matchup, we have a Prada Wicker bucket bag going up against the Loewe Balloon Bag. And then for the last matchup, we have the Dior D-Bubble bag versus the Margiela. There's just a Margiela bucket bag that looks really nice. Disclaimer, I am fully aware that what this is just my opinion. So please, if you have any of these bags or like any of them, please do not take offense. It is just my opinion. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Round 1. Match 1. Louis Vuitton Noé versus Louis Vuitton NeoNoé. Fight!
We all know and love the Noé as the bag that was designed in 1932 by the grandson of the namesake of the house himself, and the fabulous story of how it's meant to transport champagne bottles without breaking them. Being an iconic Louis Vuitton bag, it is still cherished by many, and it still holds up against the test of time. It still is very much in demand and is actually pretty hard to still get a hold of. And then we have the NeoNoé, which was designed in 2017 by Nicolas Ghesquière, inspired by the Noé, but then offering a little bit more structure, a little bit more clean lines, I think hinting at the minimalism trend that was happening back then. Really, this is kind of like not a fair matchup to me. If you have a bag that is just steeped in history, and then one that is just nice, obviously it's gonna go to the bag steeped in history. We love all of the stories that come from these points in fashion history where we can really kind of identify ourselves with how things were in the past. Like, who doesn't love the idea of carrying one of these bags on your shoulder just full of champagne? Like, it's so silly to hear that kind of story, but it's also like very relatable, I think. So for me, it definitely goes to the Noé.
Winner, Louis Vuitton Noé. Round 1. Match 2. Celine Sangle versus Gucci Horsebit 1955. Fight!
So the Sangle bag was designed by Phoebe Philo back during her tenure at the house, and it's this very, it's a large bag, but it's very minimalist inspired. It's basically like a pocket with a strap, like a big pocket with a strap though. I know for a lot of people it's their daily workhorse. They can put their whole lives into it and then just carry along, and I think that definitely deserves a lot of respect. So the Gucci Horsebit 1955 bucket bag, completely different bag. It's a little bit more stylish, a little bit more pomp. It has a structured outside with a softer textile top with a drawstring, and I think it's a beautiful bag. I love the mixture of textures and materials that you have from it, but I think if we're going to talk about a bag in general, I think we're gonna have to give it to the Sangle bag. It's just such a clean, useful bag where all of the details, even though they are somewhat, I guess you could call them plain, they still have a lot to say about themselves.
Winner, Celine Sangle. Round 1. Match 3. Prada Wicker Bucket versus Loewe Balloon. Fight!
So the Prada Wicker bucket bag is this kind of wicker base with the textile going up to the top. To me, it kind of looks like if you were to describe what a cartoon bag of money would look like. I think that's what someone would draw, and then of course adding on the wicker base, which for me, that is kind of fun. But it also offers a lot of like the seasonality that I don't know would be relevant for maybe 3/4 of the year, especially where I live, where it's cold most of the time. And then the Loewe Balloon Bag. For me, the biggest highlight of the shape is the base that's a bit more structured, it's a bit more firm of a leather, and it kind of holds the shape of everything. And then inside of it, there's like, I don't know, like a sack of like a softer leather, textile, whatever, that gets almost like sat into it. So you have a nice combination of this really like clean, minimal type look, in addition to this softer leather textile addition on top that actually comprises most of the bag. So I would say for me, because the Prada bag is so specific to the season with the wicker, and then the balloon bag is very like versatile, and it gives that really nice mix of textures and feels, the hard versus soft, I think I am gonna have to give it to the balloon bag.
Winner, Loewe Balloon.
I might be a little biased because I love Loewe, but decision made.
Round 1, Match 4, Dior D-Bubble versus Margiela Bucket. Fight!
So the D-Bubble is a bag that I'm actually not very familiar with at all, but it looks like, you know, like a bucket bag. It's a cylinder, it has a shoulder strap, it has some very beautiful embroidery, and then I think one of the most fun parts about it is there's a few tassels going down each side of the bag. It feels very boho, very casual, and I think it's actually kind of charming because of that. And then the Margiela bucket bag is characterized by, again, we see a stiff leather forming a compartment where a soft textile can come out of it. The difference here between this and some of the other ones we've seen is that it has a beautiful chain handle where part of the chain strap is replaced with leather, so when it hits your shoulder, it doesn't feel like metal on there. So between the two, we have the Dior D-Bubble, which has a lot of personality, it has a lot of beautiful embroidery. I think I just can't get over the embroidery. And then we have the Margiela, which has a lot of really great structural features, and it almost feels a little bit architectural, which is really nice for a bucket bag, I think. But I'm gonna have to give it to the D-Bubble. There's just so much personality there, you just can't ignore it.
Winner, Dior D-Bubble.
Alright, so that is the end of the first round. We are already moving on to the semifinals. There's two different matchups here. So for the first matchup, we have the Louis Vuitton Noé versus the Celine Sangle Bag. And then for the second matchup, we have the Loewe Balloon Bag versus the Dior D-Bubble. Okay, let's get started.
Semifinals, Match 1, Louis Vuitton Noé versus Celine Sangle. Fight!
For the first matchup, these bags are actually pretty similar. They're pretty big bags and they're daily workhorses for a lot of people. I would say they're actually very beloved by many, and I think each of them have cult followings behind each of these bags. So for me, it comes down to the history and the form. The Louis Vuitton Noé has all of this history behind it. It's been this bag that's been beloved for decades and decades. And then we're also talking about the form where, honestly, when it comes down to it, the Sangle bag is basically a cylinder with a strap. I think I do have to give it to the Noé because there's just so much story and so much background to that bag that to deny that...
Winner, Louis Vuitton Noé.
Whew, that was a tough one.
Semifinals, Match 2, Loewe Balloon versus Dior D-Bubble. Fight!
So again, I feel like we kind of have two similar bags. They're both really rooted in craftsmanship. The D-Bubble has this beautiful embroidery all around it with these lovely tassels, and it's just in general a fun bag. And the Loewe Balloon Bag has this almost architectural craftsmanship to it, where it has this structured, firm leather cradling like a balloon of leather. Okay, the name makes sense. I don't know, this is a pretty tough decision. We have one that's like embellished and very beautiful, and then we have one that's more structured and almost architectural. So while I do love embellishment and a bit of drama, I think for me, my sense of style appreciates things that are a bit more based on form and structure and the construction of things. Because of that, I'm gonna give it to the Loewe Balloon Bag.
Winner, Loewe Balloon.
Alright, and that is the end of the semi-finals. So you know what that means. It's the finals! This is the moment we've been waiting
10 minutes and 13 seconds.
for.
Final. Louis Vuitton Noé versus Loewe Balloon. Fight.
So basically, the only things these bags have in common is that they both have a drawstring closure. And that's kind of where the comparison stops. So let's take a bit of a closer look. We have the Louis Vuitton Noé, which has the beautiful vachetta leather, which if you take care of it well, it'll patina very gracefully and add a lot of character to your bag. And then we have the Loewe Balloon Bag, which has a convertible crossbody or shoulder strap, and it's lined in a beautiful suede leather. So, while I'm a huge fan of Jonathan Anderson, I think I've said that like a million times at this point, I love the balloon bag, and I think it's such a beautifully designed bag. But then I take a look at the Louis Vuitton Noé that has such a rich history, coupled with some of these details where this vachetta leather, a lot of people can find it problematic, but in reality, when you're adding in that patina with the oils from your hands, or maybe a spill that you accidentally made onto the bag, you're adding that personal touch. And to me, adding that kind of personality onto this, I would say, iconic historical design, I think really that is a beautiful story that you get to tell yourself. So for me, the winner is actually clearly the Noé bag.
Champion, Louis Vuitton Noé.
Oh my god, we have a winner. Alright, so we have the first winner, the Louis Vuitton Noé bag. I'm actually a little surprised. Not at the result, but how I got there. I didn't realize fully how much the history and the personalization from the vachetta leather would really make me feel so strongly about a bag. Let me know, do you have this bag, or do you want this bag and can't get your hands on it because it is still so in demand? Do you hate this bag, or do you think another bag should have won? Let me know in the comments. So if you like this video, like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too care about the design behind designer luxury. Take care. Bye. I don't know what I'm doing.